So this week, somebody asked me, what is the secret to success in sales? I'm running a live training class, and somebody said if there was one thing that I could identify that would attribute to somebody's success in a sales role or as an individual contributor, what would that be? What's the silver bullet, if that's what you want to call it, although that's a phrase I'm not particularly keen on. What would that be? And that's what I want to share with you in this week's 4-Minute Friday. Now, if you haven't joined me before, my name is Brian Conway. This is what I call 4-Minute Friday because I take a few minutes on a Friday to share with you some sales insights, some tips, strategies, and tactics that'll help you close more deals. And this week, as I said, I want to give you what I believe to be the secret to success. And it's a very simple principle. It's very fundamental, but I like the fundamentals, but very important. And that is to remember that our job is to find people who have a need for our product or service, and then simply show them how our product or service addresses that need. All right? Now, that is how simple it is. I'm not saying that's necessarily easy, but that is fundamentally what selling is all about. Finding somebody or a business that has a need for your product or service and then showing them how your product or service addresses that need. But people sometimes overcomplicate that, or they try and shortcut the process. And by that I mean they don't do a full discovery and try and identify truly what that need is. Instead, they start pitching way too early, start talking about their product, their service, and what it is. And the customer's now struggling to create that connection between what you've got and what you're talking about and their situation and what they might need. So here's the key. You've got to take your time to, I'm well known for the phrase now, linger longer. You've got to linger longer. Take the time to truly understand what the customer's requirement is. That's why the first thing I teach, I have a framework I call simple selling fundamentally. It starts with understand what is that situation that the customer finds themselves in. Where are they now? Where do they want to go? What is that gap? And when you identify that, then you can start to qualify yourself in respect with regards to does your product or service meet that need, that requirement that they've articulated. Now you can take it a bit further because the second step in simple is to identify the impact that problem is having on the business or the individual. Because if the problem's not big enough, then the motivation may not be there for them to actually do something. Or there may be other priorities that take priority over that problem because they are bigger or are causing more issue or more pain or can deliver more value. So you've got to take it a bit further as well, really, just to understand how big is the problem and make sure there is the motivation for somebody to actually do something. But that's what it comes down to, is what is that need? Really qualifying and understanding that need. And that does two things. One, it helps you then articulate your product, your service in a way that shows how it meets that need. And from a customer's perspective, it helps them understand how the feature, functionality, capability of whatever it is you're selling addresses their requirements. You join the dots. You create those connections for them so they're not having to think about it. Because a confused mind does nothing. So if they can't see that connection between what you've got and what they need, typically they won't buy. So I hope that helps. And as I said, it's simple, not necessarily easy, but that's ultimately what it comes down to. So there you go. That's my secret to success. I hope you found that useful. Maybe got thinking about the way that you sell. Please do leave any comments, follow, subscribe, all that sort of good stuff. Always appreciated. And as I said, this has been 4-Minute Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. More importantly, a great week of selling next week. My name's been Brian Conway. Take care.